We're watching a very high-class player.
This is when you know AB de Villiers is at his best.
Hello 360 family, thanks for joining me. Saturday 8th of March, and it's the day before some big events. I'm playing a game tomorrow for the first time in 4 years, but that's not the biggie. The Champions Trophy final, we've got the finalists finally. New Zealand will be facing off against India over there in Dubai. There we have it, Mitchell Santner, Rohit Sharma. Mitchell Santner, what a fantastic cricket player. I thought his bowling spell the other night against South Africa was the big game changer. If he didn't pick up any wickets there, it would have been set up perfectly for South Africa to take it forward towards the back end with wickets in hand. But he got some crucial wickets, Heinrich Klaasen being one, Themba Bavuma. And that's where South Africa lost a bit of momentum in that middle overs and gave someone like a David Miller absolutely no chance of pulling out some magic, which he did, but just too late. No real batter to also apply some pressure from the other end. And I see David Miller has been catching some criticism from locals, which is very disappointing. And it sort of hurts me as well as a South African to see him go through taking criticism after scoring 100 of 67 balls. I mean, if you told me before the game, David's going to score 100 of 67, I would have said, well, are we getting 500 or what? No one else stood up, but for some reason, this guy is catching a bit of flack from South African supporters, which is tough pill to swallow for me, to be honest. I thought he played it exceptionally well. Yes, he didn't get 100 of 20 balls. I don't know if that's what you expected of him. He's always been a player to set the foundation. He's never been a guy just to come out and slog from ball one. He just needed someone else to be out there with him. So to all of you giving him stick, just go and support basketball or some other sport. I don't know. You're wasting your time here. He should be celebrated for an incredible knock. Look at that, David Miller in ICC ODI knockouts. He's always there. And for the other batters, perhaps it's a message like, just be there with him. You know, this is his record in knockout games. Why is there no one with him at the back end when we need them to be? So that's not having a go at any other batters. It's having a go at the public, specifically the South African public, being disappointed in Dave for not scoring 130 balls and having a go at him for celebrating his 100. I mean, what world are we living in, people? He just got a baby, so he did the little rock the baby motion as a celebration. Very subdued, in my opinion. I thought he handled it incredibly well. And, I mean, he's allowed to celebrate the ODI 100. He didn't go over the top. It's not like he took his shirt off and ran around the field. But to all of you out there giving him stick, just, I don't know. I don't know what you should be doing. Just switch the television screen off next time. Yes, okay. On that note, very disappointed with all the fans. Another knockout sort of fell down for South Africa. Another knockout down the water, another opportunity to make it to the finals. I don't think we were the favourites going into this tournament. So all in all, no excuses, but I do still think they did pretty well to make it to the semi-finals. New Zealand played a better game. They played the big moments better, and that's what Themba Bavuma spoke about after the semi-finals, where he said, you know what, I just feel New Zealand played those key moments better. It's not like we were blown out of the water. They were just pivotal moments in the game, especially with the ball in hand. And that's, by the way, where I think we lost the game. Not David Miller, not Heinrich Klaasen. The batters tried their best. They were definitely 30 to 40 over par. There's no doubt about it. And we had those opportunities at the back end of the bowling innings to make sure that was going to be the case. We dropped a few catches. I think Daryl Mitchell on the boundary was a crucial catch, but it was into the sun to Vian Mulder. But that's one little key moment where New Zealand would have had to build again after that. And it ended up not happening that way, where they could just release completely. And that's crucial in the last 10 overs of an ODI. When a batting team has a foundation set, you have to take wickets. You can't just sit back and go, it's all up for the taking, guys. Have a tonk as much as you want. So those little key moments, and it's small margins, those are the ones that cost you finals and knockout games. And that's what cost us 25 to 30 runs. Bring that total down to 330 odd. And all of a sudden, you see we're not that far short. And maybe someone like Heinrich Klaasen or Bavuma would have played it differently. Just pull up that previous graphic, guys, having a look at South Africa's past performances in the ICC Champions Trophy, winning it in 1998. For those of you who didn't know, South Africa have won an ICC Champions Trophy. All right, it's in the cabinet. So for those of you who say we've never won an ICC event, there you have it. We've won the Mace as well in Test cricket a few times. Anyway, semi-finals and finals, knockouts way too often, getting knocked out in those big games. So I agree with all of you. If you want to call us jokers, go ahead, do so. I agree to a certain extent, but I also disagree, as it's a pretty good track record and we have won it before, and specifically thriving in the test arena, which is the ultimate format at the end of the day, isn't it? But yes, all in all, semi-finals, I'm not too upset, very disappointed we got knocked out, but I think this team still has some petrol in the tank for what's to come in the test arena, specifically. That'll be played in June in England. So looking forward to that one against Australia. Won't be easy, but very much looking forward to that. So well done to New Zealand. Rachin Ravindra, phenomenal player. Kane Williamson, once again, steadying the ship and showing that you don't have to hit the cover off the ball all the time. You really rallied the troops well. They kept things together. And he was the glue of that batting lineup. Ravindra, incredible knock, looking after that new ball in the first 10 overs and then really manipulating the fields, also showing some power. He is the all-round opening bat, right? He's got all shots and he really has got a good head on his shoulders, great temperament for the future. So it's going to be great to see how this guy even gets better as time goes on. That's enough of that semi-finals. Let's move on to Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Mohammad Shami, Hardik Pandya and the boys facing off against a New Zealand team who's got their tails up. New Zealand, the dark horses, that's for sure. They're not the favourites going into this tournament, or at this final at least. They are up against a powerhouse Indian side who's been very comfortable over there in the UAE, sitting in Dubai, waiting for this final to come to them. So definitely the odds in their favour, I would say. Just an all-round quality team. I don't see a lot of chips in the armour there. Not a lot of weaknesses. New Zealand know that they're going to have to play out of their skins. And possibly the one area where they have an opportunity is with that new ball to make sure they get 2 or 3 quick wickets. And that's the one area where I feel New Zealand will have to focus on. Make sure you give your spinners like a Santner a bit of freedom to express himself in those middle overs. Because if he's under pressure with an Indian solid foundation laid, it's going to be tough for them to keep that Indian batting order quiet. Virat Kohli in chases, very successful, incredible strike record, incredible track record rather, strike rate as well, because he manages the chase so well. Will that maybe be a role? Or will that play a role? Will that give New Zealand something to think about when they win the toss? Should we maybe send India in first so that Virat doesn't chase? I know that's a hot topic, and it might be something to think about. But there's one thing that I learned through big games, and that is not to focus too much on the opposition. Make sure you handle your space well. Make sure you clean up after yourself as an individual. You do your basics well, and you have a solid impact on your teammates. Not so much on the opposition. At the end of the day, when a bowler releases the ball, there's nothing involved in the game anymore. It's you and the ball. And to make sure you hit it into the right spaces, make sure you look after the good deliveries. Don't play the man. That'll be my message to New Zealand is, yes, there's so much talent in that Indian squad. Virat Kohli chasing. What about all their spinners? Should we worry about that? Maybe we should get them to bowl first because their spinners are going to get more out of the wicket in that second innings. But then there's Virat chasing, and if you fall into that trap of focusing too much on the opposition, you end up performing at 6 or 7 out of 10 to your own ability, and that's never going to be good enough. You need to make sure your standards are 9 to 10 out of 10 for the 100 overs, and then you can start having a look at, what kind of situation do we find ourselves in now? Should we maybe push a little bit harder? Should we pull back and absorb the pressure? Always focusing on what you can achieve as a team. How tidy can we be in the field? And I'm pretty sure with the smart cricket New Zealand's been playing, that is what they will be focusing on. Don't sit for an hour and plot and plan how we're going to get Virat out when he's chasing in that second innings. Do your basics well and then force a mistake from the opposition. As for India, they'll need a solid start from Rohit. We know what he's capable of when he's got a good start as an opening bat. He really takes a lot of pressure off the scoring rate because he scores so fast. He comes down the wicket. He gets the bowlers to bowl different lengths and areas. He gets the fields to change all the time, and that's what you want. So Rohit and his troops, especially for Rohit, you will look to bat 10 overs in this final. That will really set it up incredibly well for India and take a lot of pressure off the rest of the batting lineup. And I mean, if you give a bit of freedom to that middle order of India, they can be absolutely destructive, and they can really take the game away from the opposition. All right, Ria, I think Rohit is going to score more than 100 runs in tomorrow's match. Very possible. Look, he's got out cheaply. That is maybe the one area of worry for India, one area of concern. He's got good starts, but he hasn't really pushed through. So that will be crucial for India to see if Rohit gets a good start, but then to extend it a bit. See if he can be there in the 20th over. I mean, can you imagine India's batting lineup when Rohit is still there in the 20th over? Incredible. So one more question about Rohit I see coming up about his captaincy. Aditya, Rohit has led India to ICC finals in all three formats. How impressive is that? I mean, I don't have to tell you how impressive that is. As a leader, he's got a very talented squad, but still as a leader, to keep a talented squad like that together. And as we know, the IPL is the biggest tournament in the world. So there's lots of different views of the game. Maybe half of that team are captains at the IPL. So there might be a bit of ego playing a role in that squad, I mean, in the change room. But Rohit has managed to sort of settle all of that and say, listen, Hardik, listen, Virat, and all your other leaders in the IPL, it's time for us now just to follow my lead, stick together as a nation and play some good cricket. So he's done exceptionally well. And the results speak for itself, right? He has been very consistent as captain. Whether he's scoring runs or not, he's got that same kind of body language and that knit and grit kind of leadership style that he's done so well. He's really pushing his fielders and his bowlers to bring out the best in them. And as a leader in an opening batting slot, he's very aggressive in attacking, showing the rest of the lineup what he expects of them. So very impressive with all his results over the years. Let's move on to the finals then and the mindset of the final. Going into the ICC Champions Trophy final. Kanishk, how do you... AB, this is Kanishk, I'm right. How do you think the pressure of a final will affect the players' performance? Well, first of all, they're playing in Dubai, so it's no one's home ground. I'd quite like that, except for the fact that India has spent more time there than any other team. So they might be a little bit more comfortable. But at the end of the day, it's still a neutral ground. Yes, they might have more fans there, but it's still, I feel, pretty much in the balance when it comes to playing on a neutral ground. And all players also played an IPL season there, so they will be familiar with that. It's not like they're playing in Mumbai for India, from an Indian perspective, or in Wellington or Eden Park from a New Zealand's perspective. So it's still a different country, the UAE, in Dubai. Quite like that. And then from a pressure point of view, I think the guys will be nervous. But once again, sometimes when I failed in big moments were the times where I focused too much on who's running in. Is it Stuart Broad at the other end? Is it Shoaib Akhtar? Oh, it's Brett Lee. And then once that gets into your mind, it sort of starts affecting your performance and your game plan. And that's not what you want in a final. You want to really focus on your preparation. What have I done? What have I done well in this tournament? Where are the areas of concern for me? The couple of times I got out, was I overly aggressive? Did I try and sweep a spinner when I shouldn't have? Did I push a little bit too hard and there was way more time than I thought? Those are the kind of things you need to focus on. Focus on your strengths and try and minimize those weaknesses. Things you can control, like your energy levels. Those are the kind of things I think players should be focusing on in the final. And don't play the man, don't play the moment, don't let the crowd intimidate you too much. Really focus on your stride. And there's one word I'm looking for, which I'm struggling to find. But as a batter, you always talk about the pace of your innings, not really your pace, but the tempo. There's the word, the tempo. Control your tempo and let the opposition adapt to what you're doing. You see often in tennis, when a Djokovic is playing, he's sort of out of his tempo. He will take a break. He will go to the toilet, change his shirt, just to come back, reset, and say, listen, remember what you do, Novak, and that is to play at your pace, your tempo. You see him bouncing the ball like 9 times before he serves. That is all a routine to make sure that he's sticking to his tempo and let his opposition adapt to him and not the other way around. So as a batter, I think that's crucially important in finals, to not get sucked in with the moment of the game. It'll affect all players, coming back to your question, but it's a matter of those players. And the ones who do it best are probably the ones that will come out on top, the guys who have the ability to force their tempo onto the opposition. Alrighty, moving on, guys, to a couple more questions. How is Mitchell Santner's captaincy different from Kane Williamson? That's tough to say. I quite like Santner. He's quiet. You don't see a lot of emotion from him. You see when he's bowling, he's so concentrated and focused on his tempo and his game plan. He hardly ever shows emotion, except for when he gets a wicket. He'll maybe get a bit fired up, but he's so controlled in the way he carries his body language. I love players like that. You almost, there are a couple throughout my career that I want to just go like, hey, how do you do that? How do you always stay in that bubble? You never get out of it. You never seem to get flustered. And that's Mitchell Santner. And it's got such a great effect on what's already a very busy New Zealand team. They love being active in the field. And when they look to the captain, it's just like, is he happy? Is he sad? I don't know. And that reminds me of advice I got when I was much younger, where my father always encouraged me, and I've heard it from a lot of other players. When you get out or when you score 100, my dad always used to say, I don't want to know whether you've succeeded or failed, the way you walk off and the way you carry yourself. And that to me is Mitchell Santner. It's all composure, control, smart thinking. It's almost like he's got time, where a lot of captains seem rushed out there. And that, I think, is probably his biggest strength. Always just looking in control. Reminds me a bit of a Dan Vettori as well, his countryman who was the big left-arm spinner before him. And he sort of slotted into that role exceptionally well. And to a certain extent, with his captaincy skills, maybe even better. No, Dan the wizard was still the main guy, or will always be. But I think that's his biggest strength. So, and that's maybe a lesson in life as well. Whether you're going through the biggest high of your life or some of the biggest lows, try and sort of give a message across to people that they're not sure whether it's going well or not with you. Not getting overly excited and to ride that roller coaster to the top, but also not getting completely out of it when you're not doing well. And I've always tried that. Whether I'm doing well or not, the way I walk off, I want to show a message to my teammates, to the fans, to my family. You know what? It's okay. It's not the end of my life because I got a duck. It's all right. And tomorrow when I get 100, I'm not all of a sudden Brad Pitt and the biggest hero in the world. Okay? So that's what you want to control, and you can control that. And Mitchell Santner, I feel that is his biggest strength. All right, a few more guys. I've got a cricket batch to get to, by the way. My boy is playing the bowling first, and I've sort of challenged my team a bit and said, listen, we were probably going to slot it in at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. South African time this morning, but I sent him a text and I said, I see we are bowling first. My boy opened the bowling today, by the way. I never thought there would be an opening bowler in the De Villiers household, but he opened the bowling, which is quite exciting. Went for only 2 runs in his first over, and I see about 7 in his second. So 9 off 2 overs, not bad for a De Villiers. Very, very proud of him. So I will be heading over to the ground after this, and hopefully you will be there scoring the winning runs later on. Who will I be supporting in the finals? I thought about it leading up to this. And for this one, I'm asking all of you out there, 360 family, can I please sit on the fence with this one? I've got a lot of friends in the Indian team, a lot of friends in the New Zealand side. It's very tough. I do feel, however, the odds in India's favor. But in saying that, remember some of the scoring New Zealand's given India over the last few years with the test series over there, 3-0. Some other big games, New Zealand seem to sort of come out on top. India's also beaten New Zealand in the past. I'm not saying that. But just remember that side of it. But I still feel India are favourites going into this final tomorrow. That'll start at 11 a.m. South African time. I'm not sure. That is 2:30 in India. And go check your time zones. But yeah, it's going to be a great final. And I'm hoping for a high-scoring game and a close finish. That's what all fans will be hoping for. And I want to wish all the Indian and the New Zealand fans all the very best, and congratulations to all of you for making the finals, which is fantastic. Unfortunately for South Africa, we'll have to wait for a next one. But we will get a bite at the cherry with the Test Championship. World Test Championship, that is coming up in June, 11th till 15th. I will be there, by the way. I've booked my tickets. I am on my way to Lords with my boys. Can't wait. All right, JC Edits, how would you see South African team in the WTC finals against the mighty Aussies? Yeah, odds definitely in Australia's favour, but it's still cricket. The odds don't win your games of cricket, right? I think South Africa has sort of surprised everyone in the last few years with their performances, not only with the red ball, but in white ball cricket as well. Sort of flying under the radar, the team at the moment. A little bit inconsistent for my liking. They go like bang, bang, and all of a sudden big low. So I would like that ride just to be a little bit smoother. And I mean, they've got some fantastic players in that side. Odds against them, but it's Lords. Both teams will be traveling. It's a neutral ground. We know there's a lot of movement in the first hour or two of that pitch. So we'll see. We've got the skill in the South African team to cause an upset, but it's going to be a fascinating test match to watch. And there will be a bit of pressure on both teams. So we'll see who handles it best. I'm looking forward to that one. Super fans, where are my super fans? Let's have a look at my super fans. Austin, thank you very much for your contribution and following me on the 360 show. Have you seen a better clutch player than Virat? Next Indian ODI captain, Gill or Iyer, and is opening the best spot for punt in white ball cricket. A couple of questions there, good ones. I don't know, chasing like Virat does. I mean, that is the ultimate way of making sure you cross the line for your team. It is fantastic, and when I speak to youngsters, my boys, I always encourage them and say, boys, I want you guys to be there at the end of the innings. It doesn't mean block every ball. I want them to start thinking about the game in a way where they get smarter and they start understanding there's more time than you think in a cricket match. 99% of batters panic too early, and that's what Virat does well. He sort of just stays in his bubble. It's almost like a lot of commentators talk about he's such a mathematician and he thinks about it. I think the opposite is true. I honestly think he's just in his bubble, and all he's trying to tell himself is just feel the balance, feel your weight, create your tempo, let them come to you, absorb the pressure, and just play. Be busy at the crease. You see him running between the wickets. Those are basic stuff, people. That's not him being a rocket scientist. He's just focusing on the basics. And from time to time, you look up and go, 7 runs to the over required. That's okay. There's no need to panic. Let's just stay in my bubble, and score the odd boundary with a bad ball. That's all he does. And the only thing he does incredibly well is he extends that longer than any other batter out there. And I mean, we'll hear from the great man maybe in the future and find out if what I'm saying is true. I honestly don't think that he overthinks that out there. So that is fantastic, and a fantastic strength to have. And expect to see that again tomorrow, guys, when they are chasing, if they are chasing, for Virat just to be in his bubble. Have a look at the basics, how early he moves, how still he is, and any opportunity he gets, he pounces on that. Bad balls go to the boundary with no aggression. It's just skill. He's practiced it for many years, and the running between the wickets, that's something you can control. What you can't control is go like, oh my word, we're chasing 360. We need to have like 80 quickly. Let's go. All of a sudden, you're taking a lot more risk on, and you end up making a mistake or two. So Virat, I feel his biggest strength is he bats to his tempo. He stays in his bubble, and he controls the controllables. He doesn't try and control what the bowler is trying to do, because that's something you can't control. He doesn't try and get the total in 1 or 2 overs, because you can't do that. But what he can control is his intensity, his game plans, staying onto his tempo. And I feel that's what makes him the best. Let's go and talk about from AB to 360 quickly, guys. I told you guys that I will be releasing some live footage of what I work on when I train for games of cricket, what I used to work on for international games, big IPL moments. And this has got no audio, but keep an eye out for that. It will be released soon. Let's have a look at quickly. If the balance is still there I am in the nets for the first time in 4 years, feet still, not moving an inch. I got this drill from Jar Callis. It forces me to play the ball late, which is great, and you learn to create power off your own base. Then I hit some balls to the offside, trying to teach people what inside. There's the Shane Watson drill. Sorry, it's too fast for me. The Shane Watson drill, really going with all my weight back and learning to create momentum through the cricket ball, but still hitting it late. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing these basic drills. There are lots more drills coming that I will be sharing with you guys in the future. So stay tuned with that segment. A new chapter of From AB to 360 will be released soon. It's also on a playlist on YouTube. Just scroll there from left to right. I think you have live, then you have videos, and then there's a playlist section where there's a drop down of all the coaching videos that I do. So stay tuned for that, guys. I really enjoy doing that. And I must say, I was quite stiff doing my first session in 4 years. It felt incredibly enjoyable. I had so much fun out there, but quite sore. My forearms, actually, the weirdest thing, my forearms got so sore of the motion. The muscle memory is still there, but the muscles got a little bit fatigued after about 45 minutes of batting. But it was great to be out there, and I must say, I don't think the game will be easy when I start again, but it felt like I batted yesterday. The balance was still there. I remember doing the basics well. I remember how to do it, still to hit the ball nice and late, head upright, eyes level with the ground, just really focusing on the basics, and I had a lot of fun. I'm playing a social game tomorrow. I'm running out for the former Titans players. So the Titans is the local team here in Pretoria, domestic side that I started my cricket at Centurion Park, and we are playing against former Bulls players. That's the local rugby team. The Bulls, they've achieved so much success in the past. A lot of them played for the Springboks, guys like Victor Matfield and many more. You can go look on social media. I don't think it will be broadcasted. I'm pretty sure it won't be, but I think on social media you might find some footage. It's very casual though. The family's going. They will be having fun on the grass embankments of Centurion while their dad runs out for the first time in 4 years. I've no idea what to expect from the Bulls players bowling. A lot of them are very tall, and Matfield over 2 meters tall, so maybe a bit of Muhammad Irfan, one of the tallest guys I've ever faced. Maybe they'll have that steep bounce. So I'll just sort of wait back on the back foot and dominate from the back, right? I see there's a question of power hitting. While power hitting should we hold our bottom hand tight or top hand? So good question. And I explained a little bit of that in the 360 show not long ago on the segment From AB to 360. I'm still a believer in having the top hand strong, left hand in my case. I always felt like when I lose the shape, I end up not having such a high strike rate percentage of hitting the ball in the middle of the bat. I would rather find the middle of the bat more often, and from there on sort of release with the bottom hand. But I'm a big believer in the top hand, guys, to get that steering wheel, get the dimensions of your movements, your bat swing, and all of that spot on before you start looking for bottom hand shots. In saying that, bottom hand, I speak about your right forehand having to be on top of the bat. And once you do that, you know your lines are right. Go look at the episode that I released where I speak about my right forehand. When I feel my right forehand is in line with the bat and my head right next to it, that's where I have really consistent hitting off the ball. And that's what I want. I can always look for power after that. And by the way, PS, biggest secret ever, my best power shots were always when I allowed the ball just to come into my space, top hand heavy, and then at the last minute, realizing I'm in such a good position, I can just follow through with it. And that's where the bottom hand comes in. But I never really thought about it, to be honest. Never thought of gripping my right hand stronger or tighter. It was all natural, all stuff that I did in the nets, really drilling myself in, making sure I get my lines right, get my head in the right position, and play the ball late. And from there on, the game becomes so much easier. You can start manipulating the ball to areas that you wanted to. And still, I've focused on playing the ball late with my power shots. I still told myself, don't go early. Don't go early. The minute you go early with any cricket shot, you are doomed. You're gone. You can't play cricket like that. Physically, it's like playing golf without a ball. Playing cricket, if you play early, you lose all power. the ball's definitely going to go up in the air or you're going to miss it. So that is the biggest secret of cricket, and it's the hardest thing to get right, is to play the ball late, allow it to come into your space while you're keeping your shape, eyes parallel to the ground, and that's where you create your power. That is where you have finesse and fantastic. That's where you create your skill as well from. So all the best to all of you out there working on your cricket, and all the best to all the Indian and New Zealand supporters for tomorrow. That is the last question, by the way. Sorry, one more. There's a Sachin in the IML T20. Let's have a look here. Well done. 50 out of 31 in the IML T20. That's a mouthful. Navdeep, question on Sachin in IML T20. He scored a quick 50. Jonty making a stunning save at the boundary run. Long off. Oh, you are watching the older guys play. I'm also going to play in one of those leagues. Sorry, I misunderstood completely here. Sachin scored 58 or 31. Navdeep, I've got your question now. Sorry, I thought you scored the runs. That's right. Absolutely incredible to watch some of my heroes play cricket again, which is wonderful. And hopefully the IML T20, hopefully I will be there one day as well. Maybe next year. We'll see what happens. I wanted to go and sort of dust my feathers off first in another tournament. That is the WCL. That will happen in the UK later on this year. And Jonty Rhodes, guys, I mean, look at the shape the guy's still in. Peter Olivier, he is still the bomb. He is the main guy. And I'm still trying to fill those boots of Jonty Rhodes, right? He is absolutely fantastic. We see Glenn Phillips taking some Jonty-like catches, but he's still not like the real deal. That is Jonty Rhodes. He'll always be the real deal. The guy who has inspired millions. My hero, and I see that Glenn Phillips mentioned him as well. So yeah, wonderful that you guys are supporting IML T20. Also keep an eye out for the WCL. That's the the Legends League. Sorry, that's the one I will be playing in later on this year. Keep an eye out for that, guys. I am wrapping up because I need to rush off. My boy's going to bat soon. All the best to India and New Zealand tomorrow. Make it a fantastic final for all the fans, including me. I can't wait to sit at the television screen and watch that unfold. Last but not least, and I want to end with a cherry on the cake. It's International Women's Day today. To all the women out there, I see you, I hear you, and I believe in you. You are the backbone of our society, and we love you so much. Mom, mother-in-law, my wife, my daughter, you are everything in my life. And to all your sons out there, and the husbands and the boys, go and celebrate the women around you and the women in your life. They are the backbone of this world. Thanks for everything that you do. On that note, I'm signing off. Thanks for joining me on 360 Live. Have a wonderful Saturday, and all the best to the finalists tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye.